Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias, mi gente. Yo. Welcome to Daily Discipline number 296. My name is Rob Hoback. Happy that you're here, honored and humbled that you continue coming back. So thank you very much, like for reals. It's Thursday. It's the 8th day of August. It's a work day for most of us, so it's time to get to work. First things first, still the realist. I'm also a human. Yeah, I was thinking about this last night, watching television. I spent a lot of time watching television last night. I'm not gonna lie. Got sucked in for it. We'll get into some of the things that I saw, but right now talking about my IMs, I'm a human, right? I'm a human. I enjoy learning about other things that are going on in the world, and I love a good documentary, right? So that's my thankies. My thankies is for documentaries. I love learning about the world that we live in. It's amazing to me that more people are more interested in that, but we're all different. So. So last night I got to watch the first episode of Hard Knocks with which for those of you who don't know, it's a documentary where they follow around one football team in the NFL from the beginning of training camp till they get to their final roster. So you get to see all these people that end up getting cut, this, that, and the other. And, here's what I'll tell you, right? Like everything that I watched, it became very, very apparent that life is tough. And we just because bad things happen doesn't mean we can stop. We have to push through. Success on the other side. Yeah. We must push through this. We have to persevere. We can't stop. So last night, and all these are different shows. So I watched Hard Knocks, which is about football. I watched Undercover Billionaire that we talked about last week, which was the guy that, he's worth $2.2 billion, left his family, literally left his yacht on a helicopter, ended up, he didn't know where he was going. All he knew is that he would have 90 days, $100 and a truck in his bag of clothes to turn that into $1 million. And if he didn't, he was then going to take $1 million of his own and give it to the business. So, yeah, nothing. So there's a big human aspect to that. And then the last thing I watched was on the Discovery Channel. Apparently, Shark Week was such a big deal that they've now come out with Crocodile Week, which is the week after. And so I watched a couple shows on that. So breaking those down, the NFL, going back to Hard Knocks, the NFL requires a combination of athletic ability, intelligence, and will and work ethic, however you want to do that most people just don't have. And so that's what you see. You see people who they've got the talent, right? Then there's people that have the work ethic, but they don't have the talent. There's all kinds of different people on there, but the common theme is you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to push through some difficult times to get where you need to go. And I always go back to the Bon Jovi song we talked about a long time ago. Most of the time, the cross that we bear, we put it there ourselves. So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you are following the NFL at all, you know that Antonio Brown leveraged his way out of Pittsburgh, got a trade to the Oakland Raiders, and that was all the talk. And now he's not in camp, something wrong with his feet, and he did it to himself. Like, come on. All that, and then something that stupid. Yeah, that's what happened. So anyway, on the Undercover Billionaire. So this was very, very interesting to me. I talked about this a couple of days ago about how I couldn't wait to watch it. And I forgot that was on there, turned it on, and first episode, a lot harder than he thought. And he's admitting it. He's being humbled, right? And he's coming to the realization of a couple things. Number one, it's tough. It is tough it's tough to get to start with nothing and make it into something. And he was so frustrated because all he wanted to do was work, right? Now, I'll give this guy credit, man. He's sleeping in his truck. He's eating cheap. He's doing all of these things, but still not happening quickly enough for him. And so he already missed one of his toll gates, and it's going to be interesting. It's interesting to see how as he had surrounded himself and immersed himself into an environment of poor people, I started saying, hey, I can understand how people don't like those rich SOBs, right? I get it. This is not easy. So that was just what I was thinking of when I was watching. We talked about this yesterday, how we go from thinking that we're not as good as everybody else does to we get to where we're pretty well, we're aligned, right? Like our view of ourselves is aligned with what everybody else sees. And then the opposite is that you become great. When people start telling us we're great, we're amazing, and then we start thinking that we get like the God complex. And this guy, he didn't come out and say it, but he's like, look, I came into this way too cocky. He's like, I forgot what it was like. I'm like, wow, imagine that. And then the last thing was the National Geographic, and and I was just flipping channels at this point, and I came across this thing. It was crocodiles versus hippos, and so I don't know if you've ever seen a documentary on hippo. The Dirty King sent me a clip back in the day of when they're marking their territory, they got these little flapper paddles on their rear end, and they'll spray their dung all over the place, their poop, letting everybody know like I am here, yogi yo. And so that was one of the first things I saw. I'm like, hey, check this out. Well, they were doing that to the crocodiles to let them know, like, hey, this is my area. And watching that thing on the crocodiles, like they eat their young, right? Like not their own young, like it was just amazing how brutal that is. And then, they always show you like the little, the little cub, and they had this cute little hippopotamus that was with it. And then the crocodiles and the hippos started fighting over land. And who got the worst of it was the little hippo cub. It was sad, right? And, that Addison and I were watching one of these shows the night before, and you had a little elephant that got sick and didn't make it. And it's sad, and it's hard, and it's sad. Like I have no emotional attachment to that little hippo that died. I mean, look, I saw it on TV, so it made me a little. Can you imagine what those hippos felt like, right? Like all they were trying to do is protect themselves, and in the middle of it, they end up killing a little baby hippo. So it was super sad. But the point is this: I remember being in a class talking about how as humans, when a difficult, even heartbreaking situation comes at us, just like these people with all these shootings, we have to push on. Like we could sit down, and we've seen this. We've seen people who sit down and say, nope, I'm sad. This sucks. I'm not pushing forward anymore. I give up. I surrender. Well, that's not a great life, right? We can do better. And as difficult as it is, if we sit there and wallow in our own self-pity, it never gets any better. We have to push forward, right? Easy advice to give, difficult to follow. So with that, I'm done for the morning. Hands up, peace out, we're better together. I appreciate you stopping by. You can see I'm still fighting this thing, but I'm here. We're going to get through this. So see you tomorrow for a Freaky Friday. Have a great day. We'll talk to you then. Bye.